Hello everyone. If by the title name, if you have not understood what we gonna learn today, then let me explain you. So till now, what we learned in context of taking an example of Amazon product scrapping, what we did is we went to the Amazon and we searched for an item and then we scrapped something like this, right? For example, here we are going to use today we are going to use this particular website, which is Rotten Tomatoes, which is something which provides reviews on the movies and TV series and all, right? So today let's say we are searching for a movie, let's say war, right? And we search for it, and whatever comes over here, what we simply do is we just in Amazon scrapping, we learn to scrap the product name, rating, etc., right? So today what we're gonna do next is we will click a particular movie name, our desired movie name, whatever we want to scrap, and then once we are on the main page, from here what we're gonna do is we're gonna scrap this information, rating, and after that we will also scrap this kind of information, this all information, right? So the highlight over here is point which you need to note over here is going inside a product detail and fetching the information from there instead of directly fetching the basic information from the search page, right? So that's the highlight. So here as a project, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 6 movies of Hrithik Roshan, right? We're gonna check out, we will be preparing a data of his movies performance for last 6 movies. I have just random taken any last 6 movies, right? Out of last 10 movies I have picked any 6. Okay, so these are the movies which we gonna automatically search into this browser, right, one by one, and then whatever list comes out over here, from this we're gonna choose the appropriate one. And once we are inside the product detail, sorry, I'm saying product detail means the movie detail over here, so we're gonna fetch this all information, this information, and after that we will be fetching this entire information, and then we will see how his last movies has performed. Okay, so let's quickly start with this, right? So here is a script which I have already worked on. So what I'll do is I'll fetch the driver setup from here itself, and I'll just put it right over here. I'll just close this. We will try to open it using the program. Okay, let me just clean all these things. So before I start, let me tell you, if we are going to learn this thing in multiple segments. First we will learn to fetch the item for one single movie manually, right? Then we will try to automate it to fetch the information for this entire list, right? And then we will do the data cleaning at the end, some bit of data cleaning. So in this video you will also learn about data cleaning using pandas. Okay, so let's just start with this. Okay, so this is the setup for driver setup. You can simply copy paste from this script which I'll be uploading on the GitHub, and the link will be given in the description section. So like you can see over here, I have given the address of the Rotten Tomatoes website. So what I'll do is I'll directly run this particular patch, and what it gonna do is it will open the Rotten Tomatoes website and it will maximize that. Okay, now once we get that, after that what we would require to do is we require to access this particular search box. So let it open completely first, and then we will start with this thing. It is a little bit slow on my machine, probably it might work quick or fast on your machine. Okay, so as usual we're gonna start with this thing. We will just do the inspection of this, and we can take this arrow, hover on this. Oops, it's pathetically slow. Hover on this, and when you click on this, here is what you get. So here are some of the tags which you are getting. In the input you have search tag, placeholder, search movies, and slot search input. We can pick any of these tags or maybe attributes, whatever you want to say, right? So I will just take this. Let's take this. Okay, from the input tag I am taking this attribute which is slot input. Let's see how many items do we have with this thing, right? Ideally we should get 1. If more than that if we are getting, then we will change that. Okay, so here we got just 1 item, so we are good to go, right? So here I'll be creating a variable. Let's call it search box, and in that I will say driver dot find element, all right, by XPath make sure that you import all the modules as I have done over here. Now here one small change which we need to make is changing this thing particular. Okay, now once this search box is created, when we run the code, our code will access the search box. Then what we need to do is we need to send the item into it. What is it that we want to search for, right? So then for that we need to do search box dot send keys, and inside that, send keys. Okay, and inside that, here I will just define a variable. Let's call it movie, or maybe we can call it subject. Let's call it search subject. Okay, and here what I will do is I will put the movie name, and let's call the movie name as war. Okay, so let me just run this, and this is the subject which I will be sending into it, which I want to search for. And then this way, what it will do is it will simply write war into this search box. So once that is written, the next thing which we need to do is we need to hit enter from the keyboard. So for that, what we can do is we can say same thing, search box dot send keys, and inside that we need to use this particular module which is keys, and then we can say enter. Enter. Yes. All right, so when you do this, it will just enter that, and then after that we will sleep for, let's say, 3 seconds. Okay, so this module also you would require to import. Let's try and run this. So like you can see here, nothing is searched as of now, so I will just search it and let's see what happens. I will just run this, and like you can see, it is executed, this red button, you can see that, right? And if you come over here, you see it is searching for that. Now it has just searched for war. Now once this is the search page, second search page rather, we can say, right? So once we are done with this, we need to click on this tab. Okay, so for that also what we're gonna do is let's just take this and check out this item. Okay, so this is under let's try to find it using search filter, something like that. Let's see if that works. Search filter text, let's say span, and into that we can just say this. All right, so it is selecting 5 items. That means it is taking all these 5, right, wherein we require just 1. So we need to change this thing, right? What we can do is next, let's go to the next, the previous one, the movies. Okay, so over here we require to adjust this little bit. So how can we do that? We simply say contains text as movies. Okay, let's try that again. So span tag which contains, I will start and end the bracket, let me just close this also, contains text, and over here I will just use this tab name movies. Okay, now if you see this is the only item which has been selected. Now over here I'll create another box which is, let's call it movies tab. Okay, and over here again I will say driver dot find element, and inside that XPath comma, inside that we're gonna just put this thing, right? Once this is done, then the next thing which we're gonna do is again click this tab, movies tab dot click. That's it, right? So once that is clicked, again we need to wait for some time. Let's call it sleep 3 seconds. Let's sleep for 3 seconds, right? So it is the loading time which I'm giving over here, right? So yet I have not clicked on this. Now let me just run this and let's see what happens if this works. What do you think? Is it going to work? Let's just try. Okay, it is running, it just ran, and now here we are. Okay, next thing which we need to do is we need to click on this particular link. Okay, so this is the hyperlink, if you can see. So what we will do is we will again come over here, let's just click this. All right, so here we are. So here we are. So what we see is we have a tag and that contains the text war, right? So let me just make little changes over here. We can use the same tag over here, and it's just we need to use this, right? So this is selecting this particular tag, but the only problem is here we are taking war as an example movie name, right? But we have to keep it switching, right? So what we need to make it dynamic. Okay, so here I will just say my movie, and for my movie I need to put the link so that it selects, the program selects my movie which I want to look into that. Okay, so my movie equals to driver dot find element, and inside that I will say x path, sorry, inside that what I will do is I will just write x path. Okay, and then here we need to provide the path, so that I will just make over here. I would say search path. I'll create a variable called search path, and in that I will just put this. So these two things I will just say, let's just say this and this is how I'm going to put this, and then over here I will just put subject, and then over here I will just enclose this. This is not required, right? So when we do this, so what will happen is, let's just print this search path. Okay, now let's search path. I just hope that it's not a reserved key. Print, and let's just put this over here. It is saying that unexpected end of line. Why is that so? Let me just see over here. That's something done. Over here it is also done. Okay, so here we had one extra, that part. Okay, now this is done. All right, so if you print this search path, so this is this kind of a string we are getting, and this is exactly what we are looking for. All right, so here we require one more stuff, and that is one of this thing, sorry, this thing. This is how we need it, and then this is okay. Now I just run this. I'm just trying to make us, so this is cool. We are done with creating the search path, so we don't need to put extra quotation inside that. So now instead of this x path, I will directly use this particular thing over here, and this will select my movies, right? And then two things which I will be doing over here. Movie name, I will create a variable which is called, let's say it movie name equals to my movie dot text. Okay, so whatever text value is there, I want to store in my movie variable, sorry, movie name variable, and along with that I also need to click on this particular variable which is my movie. All right, dot click. So when I do this what it will do is it will click on this particular part. Let's just try to run this if this works. Okay, so let me just run this first so that it will ensure that everything is well and working, and then over here I will just execute this. It is running. Let's just give it 1 or 2 minutes. Right, so it is just executing. This pace is little slow at my side, like I said. So we will give sleep time again over here as well. Sleep 3 seconds. All right, so it is done. We are done with that particular part. Next thing which we're gonna do is we're gonna look for this particular information, right? So we will take audience count. So count, that we're gonna look for this. Here we are just looking, first we need to grab this information. You see 500 plus verified ratings, right? So this is something which we need to grab. So I will just come over here, and if you see over here we have one tag A, and under that we have the attribute slot audience count. Okay, and out of that we can simply take this particular text. Okay, so let's just write this. Okay, let me just click on this, and I'll simply copy it from here. Let's just remove this, and let's just say A into that, this and this. Okay, So it is grabbed. Now after taking this, we will simply come back to our script over here. Audience count equals to driver dot find element, find element, and inside that what I'll do is I'll just say by dot x path, and here I will just put this particular thing here and then this here. Okay, and after that, out of it, what we want to fetch is text. We will just validate it, audience count. Okay, so that we will just check what is the value that it is fetching, right? So it is getting the correct value. Now the next thing which we need to fetch out is this 69% and this 80%. Let's just hover on this particular part, and when you come over here, so here is what you see. This is for tomato meter, which is 69%, and above that, if you see, just right over here. Okay, so here what you can do is we can just simply score icon credit. This is score icon credit. This will also not help us, so we just need to figure out the parent class of this particular thing. Okay, so when you come over here, just write little up over here. So you see audience score is 80 and tomato meter score is 69. So both of these two things we can get from here. So we will just fetch the attributes. Okay, attributes from here. So this is the tag, and out of that we will simply fetch this audience and this tomato meters values, which are the attributes. Okay, so let's just say scoreboard. We will create over here, we will just create two variables. First one is audience score. Let's call it audience score. All right, I will just copy this, audience score, and after that audience score, here I will just say driver dot find element, and inside that by dot x path, and inside this I will just put, okay, so here I will just put this particular tag, which is scoreboard, and out of this I will just take the error is because the function is get attribute and not the attribute only. Okay, so get attribute. All right, and inside that which attribute that we want to get. So the attribute which we want to get is audience score over here. This is what we want to fetch. All right, and if you print this audience score, it will be printed. Let's just try this. You see 80 we got. Now the next one is pretty simple, which is tomato meter. Okay, so I will just put this over here, and I will simply say tomato meter, and then the same attribute I want to fetch out of it. So I will just write over here tomato meter. Okay, let's see if this works. There seem to be some issue. Tomato meter is not fetching the information. Okay, so it is tomato meter score. That's what the attribute name is. All right, now let's just run this. So here we got 69. So we got this, we got that, and then next thing which we require to fetch is the main information which we are looking for, and that is this movie info. All right, let me just try to fetch that movie info over here. I will just see what is the tag. I'll just try to fetch this whole info. Okay, so let's just click over here, and let's just go to the parent class of this one. Okay, so this is the particular thing which I will try to fetch, content meta info. Okay, this one is not this one, content meta info. This is the thing which we will be trying to fetch over here. Let's just try to copy this particular part, and I will just do Control F, UL, and inside that I will just put this. So this is the tag which is fetching that, which should fetch that information. Part which we are missing is here we should put @ okay, so now let's just get this, and we will say movie info equals to driver dot find element inside that what we're gonna do is X path. We will just say this, and inside that we will just put this. All right, so we are very close to end, and now we will just try to fetch the text out of it. All right, and let me just show it to you. Okay, just right over here. So if you run this particular thing, this kind of information you are getting, right? So what we need to do is we need to split this with on each of the new line. So what we can do is here, right over here, we can say either of the two things you can do. Either you can split it over here, or you can just write split over here, right? Let's just see if it gives the str function, and then over here we can call split function, and inside that what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the split special character basis on which we will be doing the split. Okay, and now if you print this, so this kind of error, this should not give this kind of error. So ideally str object, possibly str function is not required. Let's just run this. Here it has extracted all this information for the first movie, right? So let's just close this and try to run this completely. Okay, I'll just run this F9 and let's just see. It is opening the web page. Now it is stopped, and when you come back over here, here is the information we got. So this is it in this particular video. In the next video we will learn to automate this. Thank you.